Top news for the day, September 28, 2020. The Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission reveals its findings on the alleged anomalies in Philhealth. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila decrease. Stranded Filipino seafarers in China to arrive tomorrow. And 12 provincial bus routes will open this week. Good day, I am Rom Dulfo. Welcome to PNA Newsroom. Thank you for joining us. Our top story for today, the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission gives an update on the status of their investigation in Philhealth. PACC Commissioner Greco Belhica earlier suggested a systematic revamp in Philhealth as well as removing corrupt officials from head to foot.
Tuloy po ang investigation namin sa Philhealth. Una, sa overpriced COVID-19 testing package, nag-iimbestiga po ang PACC dyan. Pangalawa, sa overpriced IT projects, nag-iimbestiga pa rin po kami dyan. Pangatlo, doon po sa Philhealth Common Stock Investment Scam. Ito po ay nakitaan ng 865 million pesos, 927,169 pesos. Of the 1 billion initial investment na niligay ng Philhealth sa common stock, nakita po namin na sa kanilang charter wala po silang karapatan o kapangyarihan na maglagay sa common stock, doon lamang sa mga preferred stocks. And there are allegations na yung pong mga kinikita daw po ay pinagpaparte-partihan allegedly ng mga board of directors. So patuloy po ang investigasyon namin dyan. Sa PACC itself, iba po yung sa task force ng composite teams.
Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque reports a decrease in the number of COVID-19 cases in the National Capital Region. He says positivity rate in NCR is also down to 10%.
Makikita natin sa infographics na pababa po ang bilang ng mga bagong kaso mula 4,300 ng mga kaso noong August 12 hanggang August 18 ay naging 2,988 ang mga kaso mula Setyembre 16 hanggang Setyembre 23. Bumaba rin po ang R0, ito po yung pagkalat ng sakit, yung mahahawa ng isang positibo. No? Nanggaling po tayo sa 1.14 noong August 12 to 18, bumaba po ito ng 0.82 noong September 16 to 23. Pumunta naman po tayo sa epicenter ng COVID-19 sa Pilipinas, ang National Capital Region. Ang mga bagong kaso ng COVID-19 ay bumaba rin po sa 1,200 bawat araw noong September 17 to 24 mula sa 2,676 noong August 13 to 19. Mahigit 50% po ang binaba compared to 5 weeks ago. Nakikita rin ng pagbaba ng R0 sa NCR. Abay, 0.74 na po noong September 16 to 23 mula 1.14 noong August 12 to 18. Bumagsak din ang positivity rate ng NCR mula 16% noong August 12 to 18, naging 10% na po ito ngayong September 16 to 23. Kung inyong matatandaan, ang ideal rate ng World Health Organization ay 5%. So good work, pero patuloy pa po nating pababain.
3 remaining civil works contract packages for the Clark Phase 2 project or the Malolos-Clark extension of the North-South Commuter Railway System are awarded. This completes the 5 civil works packages of the PNR Clark Phase 2 project. Contract package N01 was awarded to the joint venture of Hyundai Engineering and Construction Company, Megawad Construction Corporation, and Dong Geological Engineering Company. It covers 17 kilometers of elevated rail viaduct, 7 balanced cantilever bridges, and 2 station buildings in the towns of Malolos and Calumpit in Bulacan, and in the towns of Apalit and Minalin in Pampanga. Meanwhile, contract package N02, which covers 16 kilometers of elevated viaduct and 1 station building, each in the towns of Minalin, Santo Tomas, and San Fernando in Pampanga, was awarded to the joint venture of Acciona Construction Philippines and Dalim Industrial Company. Contract package N03, which covers 12 kilometers of elevated viaduct and one station building each in the towns of San Fernando, Angeles, and Mabalacat in Pampanga, was awarded to the Italian Thai Development Public Company. With 5 contract packages complete, Transport Secretary Arthur Togade says there is no stopping now for the government to achieve its goal of providing comfort and convenience to the public. Destinations for domestic travel in the country has slowly reopened with health and safety protocols in place. Tourism Chief Bruno Romulo Puyat says the gradual revival of the industry will bring back jobs and livelihoods to the rural areas where many tourism products are found. The Philippine tourism industry has been promoting the inclusive development of the countryside by supporting farmers, indigenous peoples, women, and other marginalized groups through sustainable programs. Operations of beer houses and similar establishments remain prohibited, even in areas under the most relaxed Modified General Community Quarantine, or MGCQ. Meanwhile, in Negros Oriental, authorities appeal for honesty in contact tracing. More on this from Laid Kabagani.
Joint Task Force COVID Shield Commander Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar ordered all police units in the country to strictly implement the ban against illegal operations of beer houses and bars. Guillermo said that based on the guidelines issued by the IATF-EID, beer houses, bars, and other similar establishments are still prohibited in areas under the Modified General Community Quarantine and much more under the General Community Quarantine. While some bars may be allowed to open, the operation is focused on serving food and customers are discouraged to stay long inside. He said police commanders were directed to coordinate their operations with the local government units to ensure that violators would be penalized, including payment of fine and even closure order. Meanwhile, Guillermo has ordered police commanders to coordinate with the local government units when doing their simulation exercises, also called SIMEX. These exercises help police improve their reactions to different emergency situations. Guillermo's order came after a SIMEX held near the Cultural Center of the Philippines complex created panic among joggers, passers-by, and tenants of nearby establishments. In Negros Oriental, health authorities appeal for a transparent and honest information for better contact tracing. According to Dr. Leland Estacion, Assistant Provincial Health Officer, it is important for people to write down the complete information when asked to fill up a form for contact tracing. The Negros Oriental Chamber of Commerce and Industry is pushing for the adoption of the QR code in different establishments here to do away with the pen and paper for contact tracing purposes. But Estacion disagrees, saying the measure, which is also being implemented in Baguio City, is a failure as many barangays were locked down as a result. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Laid Kabagani.
The government of Qatar becomes the first Arab state to introduce a significant labor policy reform by coming up with a new non-discriminatory minimum wage. The government of Qatar adopted early this month a law setting the minimum wage for all workers of all nationalities in the private sector at 1,000 Qatari riyal. This is equivalent to $274 or 13,325 pesos. Employers are also directed to provide an additional 500 riyal for accommodation and 200 riyal for food, bringing the minimum total gross salary to 1,800 or equivalent to 24,000 pesos. Qatar also abolished the kafala, an employment system that requires all migrant workers to secure the permission of employers before they can seek another employment. Some 317 Filipinos were able to return to Manila from Beirut via a special chartered flight. This as the two-day marathon mission was undertaken by the Office of the President and the Department of Foreign Affairs upon the instructions of President Duterte. The twin missions included a ceremonial turnover and delivery of food supplies for the Filipino community in Lebanon and a ceremonial turnover and delivery of medical supplies to the Lebanese Red Cross, the Rafiq Hariri University Hospital, the Beirut General Hospital, and the Lebanese NGO CAFA. The mission, led by Presidential Assistant on Foreign Affairs and Chief of Presidential Protocol Robert Borge, is the fifth chartered repatriation flight from Lebanon since June 2020 and the second since the Beirut explosion in August 2020. Meanwhile, 16 stranded Filipino seafarers and 3 land-based overseas Filipino workers from China are scheduled to arrive in Manila tomorrow. According to DFA, these workers will arrive at around 1 a.m. on board a chartered flight. 11 of the 16 seafarers are from Ocean Star 86, who have been stranded in Dongshan since March 2020. They will be joined by 5 seafarers on board MV Maria P, who have been stranded in Ningde since July. Both are Chinese fishing vessels which were affected by China's no disembarkation policy as precautionary measure due to the pandemic and the unavailability of commercial flights. Still to come, what happens inside a mega swabbing center? We take a close look. Return of locally stranded individuals to Sipalay, Negros Occidental is halted. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
What happens inside a mega swabbing center? The second episode of the Laging Handa docu-series takes viewers inside one of the largest mega swabbing centers in the country. The episode titled Sa Loob ng Swabbing Center, which premiered on Sunday, featured real stories that happen every day inside the Mall of Asia Arena's mega swabbing center. The documentary shows firsthand what people have to go through when they undergo swab testing. It also covers the hard work and sacrifices of frontliners, especially the healthcare workers and the PNP. The first episode, Red Zone, provided a glimpse of the operations inside a temporary treatment facility at the PICC Forum. The Laging Handa docu-series can be seen on PTV4 and IBC 13 or on the PCOO social media accounts and other government-affiliated pages. The Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission urged Ombudsman Samuel Martires to re-examine his memorandum circular that limits public access to statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth or SALN. PACC Chair Dante Jimenez says depriving access to SALNs may lead the public to lose its trust and confidence in the anti-graft body, as it may have lost a weapon against corrupt government officials. He also dismissed the Ombudsman's reason to restrict access to SALNs and suspend lifestyle checks to prevent journalists from using them to extort money from politicians. According to Jimenez, all government workers and officials, including the President, should be transparent. Despite the Ombudsman's circular, Jimenez assured that all branches of government take part in combating corruption in the country. Locally stranded individuals cannot enter Sipalay City in Negros Occidental for 2 weeks from September 28 to October 11. The Western Visayas Regional Interagency Task Force and the Regional Task Force suspended the entry of LSIs because of limited space in Sipalay City's quarantine facility. Only 41 beds are available in the 235-bed facility. The RIATF and RTF also reported a delay in the release of COVID-19 test results in the province. Earlier, Mayor Gina Lizares issued Executive Order 36, imposing the suspension of the issuance of a certificate of appearance to Sipalay for 14 days. Sipalay extended the ban on tourism-related and non-essential travels until September 30. Also prohibited until the end of the month are visits to relatives and friends, church-related activities, school-related transactions, and house-to-house retail selling. The government continuously provides assistance to Marawi to jumpstart the economy in the region. Lou Ellen Antonio with the story.
The modified enhanced community quarantine status implemented in Marawi City due to threats of COVID-19 did not hamper the distribution of livelihood assistance of the government to help the affected families recover from the siege in 2017. To date, 95% of the 50,090 target beneficiaries of the Department of Trade and Industry already received virus livelihood starter kits such as sewing machines, bigasan kits, karindera kits, among others. DTI also targeted to distribute 8 mobile rice mills and 14 assorted power tools with stand shelves to cooperatives in the city.
Masaya po dahil itong mga gamit nito ay yung mga kasama natin na mayroon silang skills sa mga about carpentry, masonry, magagamit na ito.
DTI hopes that the assistance will help the internally displaced persons start a business.
Nananawagan tayo sa mga beneficiary ng ating pinamimigay na livelihood. Ang DTI po ay nakikiusap sa mga kababayan natin, yung mga mahal natin na mga IDP at yung mga recipient na sana naman ay alagaan nila, magamit nila ito sa kanilang pagbangon dahil ito po ay makakatulong sa kanila.
Kahit na may COVID, hindi tayo tuloy-tuloy. Hindi tayo pwede patalo sa COVID.
DTI also noted a growing number of successful entrepreneurs among the IDPs who benefited from the department's livelihood starter kits. For the PNA Newsroom, Lou Ellen Antonio of PAA Iligan City Information Center.
In business, Filipinos are encouraged to patronize locally made products needed during the pandemic instead of imported essentials. Trade Chief Ramon Lopez says the DTI and the Board of Investments target to build local capacity of many products in order to meet domestic demand. The DTI and BOI have pushed for local production of critical products such as face masks and other protective equipment by repurposing the facilities of manufacturers. Lopez says while industries are building the domestic capacity, there is also a need to encourage buyers to source products from local manufacturers. He underscored that buying from Philippine-based manufacturers will help in saving local jobs. Lopez said the country can now produce 56 million face masks in a month. Up next, let us take a look at the DOT's first Philippine travel exchange. Meanwhile, Dagupan launches Buy Local campaign exhibit. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Alamin kung paano ang tamang pagsusuot ng surgical mask. Una, hawakan ang mask sa strap at siguruhing natatakpan nito ang inyong bibig at ilong. Tandaan, ang may kulay na bahagi ng mask ang dapat nasa labas. Ito lamang ang tamang paraan ng pagsuot nito. Ihulma ang nose piece o maliit na metallic strip ayon sa hugis ng inyong ilong. Iwasan ang paghawak sa inyong ilong at bibig. Kung marumi na ang mask, hubarin ito gamit ang strap at itapon ito sa isang basurahan. Siguruhin ang maayos na paghuhugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig. Ang surgical mask ay dapat gamitin ng mga pasyenteng may sakit sa baga o mga taong mayroong ubo, sipon at lagnat, mga nag-aalaga sa mga may sakit, at mga healthcare at frontline workers. Maaari ring magsuot nito kung kayo ay pupunta sa matataong lugar. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
The Tourism Department expects a boost in local tourism amid the COVID-19 pandemic with the success of the Philippine Travel Exchange 2020. PTEX 2020, the first ever meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions event staged since the lockdown in March, generated 4.5 million pesos worth of confirmed bookings for 2021 onwards. Some 50 participants joined the three-day hybrid PTEX 2020 physically in Panglao, Bohol, as they engaged stakeholders virtually. Tourism Promotions Board CEO Maria Antoinette Velasco Aliones said the event showed that the level of confidence among the travelers about Philippine destinations remains high. Bohol Governor Arthur Yap also said PHITEX 2020 reflected the feasibility of hosting similar events as long as health and safety protocols are followed. Meanwhile, Tourism Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat expressed hope that the local government unit of Bohol would approve the resumption of tourism in the province before Christmas. In Bukidnon, the Department of Science and Technology is supporting the production of iron-fortified rice to help address anemia in the province. At least 8 million pesos have been allocated for the Iron Rice for Nutrition and Overall Wellness Project. The Food and Nutrition Institute will provide technology and capability building interventions to the Maramag Community Multi-Purpose Cooperative, which will undertake the project. DOST Secretary Fortunato de la Peña says the project targets to produce some 32,000 kilos of iron-fortified rice. Bukidnon is one of the top 10 poorest provinces in the Philippines in 2018. Cases of iron deficiency anemia in the province increased from 940 in 2016 to 1,485 in 2018. The city government of Dagupan in Pangasinan is promoting the province's local products as part of efforts to help entrepreneurs affected by COVID-19. More on this and other news from the provinces from Chris Mundo.
The city government of Dagupan on Saturday launched an intensified campaign to promote locally produced products or services offered by entrepreneurs affected by the pandemic. Participating exhibitors include new entrepreneurs supported by the City Agriculture Office and other government agencies. Products such as souvenir items, pastries, and bangus are being sold at the SM Center Dagupan from September 26 to October 10. Meanwhile, Manileños can soon have a taste of Mindanao's black and red organic rice. Mindanao's farmers earned an advance of 40 million pesos after Manila Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Dumagoso ordered 500 metric tons of colored organic rice for the city's senior citizens. The City of Manila will distribute this rice to its 150,000 senior citizens this Christmas. More of Mindanao's organic rice and other products will be available at the Minda Tienda sa Manila on October 23 to 25 at the Mehan Garden right beside the Manila City Hall. In Northern Samar, the provincial government has started accepting applications for its scholarship program for aspiring medical doctors. The scholarship covers tuition and other school fees, plus stipend and allowances and review fees for the medical licensure exam. Governor Edwin Ong Chuan said they opened 10 slots for the first year of the program, which aims to address the health needs of the people by increasing availability of local doctors. For more information, visit the Northern Samar Provincial Information Office Facebook page. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Mundo.
The military hailed its continuous success in neutralizing the communist insurgency in cooperation with the Philippine National Police. Operations by AFP and PNP units have so far led to the surrender of over 4,000 New People's Army members and supporters this year, the AFP said. The AFP also cited the deaths of notorious communist leaders nationwide and the arrest of hundreds more. They also confirmed the dismantling of 8 so-called guerrilla fronts this year. The AFP and the PNP committed to support the National Task Force on ending local communist armed conflict as it unites government agencies against the CPP, NPA, NDF. The Philippine Army recognized the efforts of reservists in Central Visayas in the fight against COVID-19 in Cebu. The 1901st Red Reserve Infantry Brigade received a plaque of merit for its support to medical and law enforcement frontliners. The reservists were among the first volunteer uniform service who repacked family food packs at the DSWD Visayas Disaster Relief Center. The unit also supported the Department of Health's effort to secure healthcare personnel from infection and also participated in community-wide decontamination. Apart from the quarantine duties, the Army also recognized the brigade's medical and dental mission in Barangay Catarman in Liloan Town in northern Cebu and their duties as crowd control personnel for the annual Sinulog. Colonel Rique Bonayog, chief of the 7th Regional Community Defense Group, urged the reservists to remain committed to help despite adversities. In our foreign news, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres reminded the world never to engage in nuclear war. Guterres says all states have a responsibility to ensure that nuclear weapons are never used again and are eliminated completely from national arsenals. The UN chief called on states that possess nuclear weapons reaffirm the shared understanding that a nuclear war cannot be won and must not be fought. To this end, they are urged to engage anew in dialogue to restore trust and confidence, reduce nuclear risk, and take tangible steps in nuclear disarmament. In 2013, the UN declared September 26 as the International Day of the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons, so the world would reaffirm its commitment to global nuclear disarmament as a priority. Here's the latest in our community billboard. Retiree pensioners can now file their pension loan program or PLP applications with the SSS online. Applicants may check the my.sss member portal at www.sss.gov.ph. Retiree pensioners must have registered my.sss web accounts and current and active mobile numbers. Disbursement accounts may be a valid SSS Unified Multipurpose Identification Card enrolled as an ADM card or an SSS-issued Union Bank of the Philippines Quick Card. The new PLP feature is part of efforts by the SSS to digitalize services and provide more convenient means of filing pension loans during the COVID-19 pandemic. For more information, follow the SSS on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Take one more look at today's biggest stories. The Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission reveals its findings on the alleged anomalies in Philhealth. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila decrease. Stranded Filipino seafarers in China to arrive tomorrow. And 12 provincial bus routes will open this week. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check more news content, check our webpage or head into the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government, how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags on all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's a daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from PNA Newsroom. I am Rom Dulfo. Good day and keep safe.